1,000 kilometers, 135 days, 75 districts, 12 states and 2 union territories later, the Bharat Jodo Yatra has reached its culmination with the hoisting of the Tiranga in Srinagar. Now, from day one, the question has been, what is the purpose of this yatra? Today, it is time to assess what it has achieved. The yatra was no doubt a physical challenge with walks for several kilometers a day, but the bigger challenge was the recasting of Rahul Gandhi, a politician dubbed as Pappu for several years, attempting to shake off the image. All along, Rahul Gandhi has maintained that this was not a political yatra but an outreach to the people of this country. Make no mistake, this was out and out Rahul Gandhi's show. The images of him interacting with children, the elderly, speaking in the snow, the rain, even that snowball fight with his sister Priyanka Vadra are aimed at the remaking of Mr. Gandhi's image. The question is, was it a successful attempt? Let's begin with this report.
कन्याकुमारी से शुरू किया और कश्मीर में हमारा तिरंगा है उसको हम जाके लहराएंगे.
Emotions, expectations and energy. All three were high when Rahul Gandhi began his ambitious Bharat Jodo Yatra. The date was September 7th, the location Kanyakumari. Rahul's ally and cheerleader M.K. Stalin handed him the tricolour, and with that began a journey that was both politically and physically taxing. Over the next 134 days, Rahul and his yatris would cover 3,500 kilometers, 75 districts and 14 states. As the yatra comes to an end in Kashmir, we take a look back at the most iconic moments. Number 1, Rahul's viral speech in the rain. As far as the photo ops go, nothing beats this one in Mysuru. The rain pelting down, the spotlights flaring, and Rahul Gandhi in the middle of it all. Time will forget the content of that speech, but this picture will probably live on. Moment number 2, the cultural outreach. Rahul Gandhi made it a point to explore the cultural nuances of the places he visited. Whether it was the snake boat ride in Kerala or the village cooking channel in Tamil Nadu. Yes, memes were made, but so were memories. Number 3, the family moment. Sonia Gandhi joined the yatra in Karnataka's Mandya. Rahul was seen crouching down and tying her shoelaces after a long day of walking. His sister Priyanka Gandhi too joined the march later on. Their sibling love was on full display whenever they met. All of this was an extension of Rahul's reasoning behind the yatra. He wanted to spread love, he said.
ये देश भाईचारे का देश है, एकता का देश है, इज्जत का देश है, रिस्पेक्ट का देश है. और इसीलिए ये यात्रा सफल हो रही है.
As the yatra moved north, Rahul's stubble grew in stature. He opted for the unshaven, long-bearded look. While Congress supporters saw a man on a mission, BJP's Himanta Biswa Sarma saw Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein.
आप कम से कम गांधी जी का चेहरा बनाइए. कहां सद्दाम हुसैन जैसा चेहरा बना के देश में घूम रहा है.
The moniker didn't stick. The Congress spun a new narrative where Rahul's beard was a symbol of his tapasya, his trial by fire. That soon became a running theme of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So much so that at one point Rahul claimed he had killed himself.
राहुल गांधी आपके दिमाग में है, मैंने मार दिया उसको. वो है ही नहीं, मेरे माइंड में है ही नहीं, गया वो.
Perhaps a bit too dramatic, but then again, that was the whole point of this yatra, to rebrand Rahul Gandhi as a man of the masses, as a strong-willed and capable leader. Enter the white t-shirt. Rahul Gandhi wore this same t-shirt throughout the yatra. White, half-sleeved and simple. But surely he would wear a sweater in Delhi, or at least that's what we thought. Rahul paid tributes to former prime ministers when he was in Delhi. He braved the cool wave in that humble white t-shirt. Once again, the tapasya card was on full display.
कि जब तक मैं नहीं कांपूंगा मैं टी-शर्ट पहनूंगा. जब कांपना शुरू हो जाएगा जब मुझे अच्छी मतलब ठंड लगने लगेगी, जबरदस्त कठिनाई होगी, तो फिर मैं स्वेटर पहनने का सोचूंगा।
The sweater did make an appearance in Kashmir, but by then the PR work was done. Rahul's cold-beating credentials were beyond doubt. The Bharat Jodo Yatra was a physical and political experiment. It had emotions, it had photo ops, it had the energy, and it had some fun moments. But will the Yatra give Congress that much needed electoral success? Only time will tell.
The culmination of the Yatra in Kashmir is significant, with Rahul Gandhi saying that BJP leaders wouldn't be able to walk there. The retort from the BJP was also quick. Listen in.
जैसे मोदी जी हैं, अमित शाह जी हैं, आरएसएस के लोग हैं, उन्होंने हिंसा नहीं देखी। डरते हैं, नहीं डरते हैं, देखिए डरते हैं। यहाँ पे हम 4 दिन पैदल चले, मैं आपको गारंटी देके कह सकता हूँ कि बीजेपी का कोई नेता ऐसे नहीं चल सकता। और इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर के लोग, इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर के लोग उनको चलने नहीं देंगे, इसलिए क्योंकि वो डरते हैं।
आपने राहुल गांधी जी को और प्रियंका गांधी जी को बर्फ के गोलों के साथ तो खेलते देखा, पिकनिक मनाते भी देखा, हंसी खुशी के माहौल में भी देखा, लेकिन शायद वो धन्यवाद करना भूल गए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, जिन्होंने सत्ता में आने के बाद अनुच्छेद 370 और 35 को सदा सदा के लिए खत्म किया। और ये बीज किसी ने बोया था तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने। देश के आज़ाद होने के बाद विशेष राज्य का दर्जा जम्मू कश्मीर को दिया। आज तक 45,000 से ज़्यादा लोगों की हत्याएं हुई। राहुल गांधी जी उसके दोषी कौन हैं?
All right, let's begin the conversation with Vivek Tankha, Rajya Sabha MP from the Congress Party. He's in Srinagar right now and joining us live for his take on the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Mr. Tankha, thank you for speaking with us here on Beyond the Headline. Let me begin with the obvious and very basic question. What has the Bharat Jodo Yatra achieved?
देखिए, this Bharat Jodo Yatra was a way to connect the Congress party with the people once again. And that is why Rahul ji took this arduous journey from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, which is roughly 4,000 kilometers, where he met lakhs of people. People understood him, he understood people, and I'm sure it's a transformed personality that you would see after the yatra. So that's one aspect of the yatra. And I think with a transformed Rahul Gandhi, we're going to see a more energetic and a more connected Congress party now fighting the 24 elections with all the other opposition parties, because it's a huge challenge. And the reason was that unless the Congress, which was the largest opposition party, is able to play its role well, the other parties who are contributing parties would not suffice to bring a majority. So Rahul ji has undertaken a huge task, but for me, this is only a beginning. The new narrative has to begin from today, after it ends, and we have to now go with all the states, to all the different states of India and union territories, with new ideas of how India can progress.
Yes, you talked about how it has changed Rahul Gandhi's perception. Mr. Tankha, my question is, was this Yatra an image makeover, a change of perception for Rahul Gandhi or for the Congress party? Who has this benefited more?
The two somewhere are also intertwined. Without a change of perception of Mr. Gandhi, the perception of Congress also will not change. So one thing has happened now. Now the next thing has to happen, which should start from today. As I said, this is not the end, but this is the beginning. It's a huge task that Rahul ji has taken it upon himself, and I think the challenge is immense. And today India needs a breath of fresh air. You know, last 2 days I've been in Kashmir, and I'm a Kashmiri Pandit. It's all right that we left this state about 100 years back, but I can safely say that I'm a Kashmiri Pandit in the parliament. And what I realized that, you know, in the last 2 days, there was a general feeling of bonhomie in Kashmir. There was a general feeling of you know, people were in their homes, they were scared, or they were not coming out and speaking. They were not even ready to come out and rejoice on the streets for last 2-3 years. I suddenly saw a lot of Kashmiris carrying Indian national flag. Now, this never used to happen before. I saw a huge change in the atmosphere of Kashmir, and I think the Yatra and Rahul's personality has done lot of good to will do a lot of good to the country, and the beginning I saw in Kashmir also.
You know, Anurag Thakur says the credit goes to Prime Minister Modi for you being able to culminate the Yatra in Kashmir. While, you know, Rahul and Priyanka were throwing snowballs, he took a jibe at that as well. What would you say to that?
Let Mr. Thakur also know that when Advani ji took out his Yatrata, there was some government in place which supported that Yatra in the sense of maintaining law and order. Now, all that the central government or the state governments did in this entire Yatra was to ensure that there is law and order maintained and proper protection is given. So I don't think it's a favor to anybody. Today they may be in the ruling party, tomorrow they will be in the opposition, and when they do similar activity, political activity, they will expect the same protection, which was given to them for 60 years. Number two, as far as governments doing work in Kashmir, yes, Modi ji has announced many schemes for Kashmir. But before that, Manmohan Singh ji had announced a lot of schemes for Kashmir. It's an ongoing process. I mean, if you ask people of Kashmir, who do you think has actually done something for Kashmir, they'll say Manmohan Singh, because it's Manmohan Singh ji whose Prime Minister's package provided about 6,000, 8,000 jobs to people in Kashmir. And today those people are sitting on some sort of a strike for the last 2-3 months. The Home Minister and other ministers are not willing to even speak to them. And what they're wanting is protection, they're wanting security, and the government is not even willing to talk to them on those issues. So how do you think that the people of Kashmir are going to be happy, whether minority or majority, with the current government?
What exactly is going to be the role of Rahul Gandhi now, Mr. Tankha? Since Mallikarjun Kharge is president, but this Yatra was all about Rahul Gandhi. You're saying it has enhanced his perception, etc. So will Mr. Gandhi now call the shots behind the scenes?
Do you remember when Advani ji used to be the president and Bajpayee used to be the face? Did anybody object at that time? Did anybody say that why Bajpayee ji is the face and Advani ji is the president? Or there were times when Bajpayee ji was the president and Advani ji was on a yatra? So there will be multiple people always in a party. Somebody controls the organization, somebody is the face, somebody is the brain, somebody manages the backstage. So I'm not surprised, and it should not even be criticized, why there are multiple people working for the Congress.
What will be, in your view, the quantifiable gauge of the Yatra's success? After all, we have to figure out whether it worked or it didn't work. Will the first test be the elections in Karnataka?
I agree with you that any democratic party in a democracy, if it has to prove its worth, it has to win elections. That's the only indication of a party's growth. So if Congress has to come back to its old glory, it has to win elections, it has to do well in elections, in the coming elections to Karnataka and other states. I think Telangana, Andhra also soon. And it has to do well in Madhya Pradesh, it has to do well in Rajasthan, it has to do well in Chhattisgarh, and many other state elections which are going to follow before we come to 2024. So for the Congress leadership, whether it be the Congress President Mr. Kharge or it be Rahulji and maybe others also, it's a huge challenge. We have to first win these elections or do well in these elections, and then be ready to take on the might of the BJP in the 24 elections.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tanka, for speaking with us. I'm joined now by Yashwant Deshmukh, founder and chief editor of C Voter, Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, and Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. Welcome to all of you. Yashwant Deshmukh, let me begin with your take on what this yatra has actually, achieved at the end of the day. All right, we'll wait to get Yashwant back. Tuhin, do you want to respond?
Request you for slightly better time management, because when the debate is supposed to start at 10, and if it doesn't, then it becomes as wayward and, scattered like the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So I think
come prepared, Tuhin.
No. So that's why probably Mr. Deshmukh has also, gone away or whatever. So anyway, there were two recent Mood of the Nation surveys that were released last week. And both of them confirm at least a 15 to 20% increase in the approval ratings of the government and Mr. Modi. So if you ask what is the achievement of Bharat Jodo Yatra, that is precisely the achievement of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, because it was absolutely scattered, confused, and all over. Now, coming to specifics. Number one, if you look at it right from day one, while the yatra was called Bharat Jodo Yatra, let me just point out three specific instances where it went against the very sentiment of the yatra. Number one, he begins the yatra by hobnobbing with Father Ponappa, who is known to abuse Bharat Mata. Then he hobnobs with Rajil Makuti, the guy who organized a beef party in Kerala. 1 month or 1.5 months ago, he actually spreads a canard about the Indian Army when there is a video of the Indian
anymore. No one's calling him Pappu anymore. It's the biggest image makeover for Rahul Gandhi. The beard has come. People are talking about how he's bearing the cold, reaching out to the young, the elderly.
So if you consider that an achievement, then your expectations from him are really low. So I think if with such low expectations, the Congress anyway is not going to succeed beyond repackaging Rahul Gandhi for the umpteenth time. But the larger point remains, even in Kashmir, if you look at it, look at the sheer ignorance and ingratitude of the Congress party. Instead of giving credit to the Modi government for creating a situation where they could fearlessly go and host the national flag at the Lal Chowk, something which Modi ji did 3 decades ago. Instead of giving the BJP government the credit for this, they say situation has changed because of this yatra. So that is the ignorance of this Congress party. And because of this ignorance, it will never be able to understand the real issues plaguing the people. And that is why they are cut off from, the ground realities. They continue to be so.
Okay. Tehseen, I want you to respond to that. Mood of the Nation surveys quoted by Tuhin, he's saying nothing has changed. Just some better pictures and, a few viral videos of Rahul Gandhi is not going to change anything on the ground. I remember we spoke when the Bharat Jodo Yatra began. And this was the whole point, that what is it going to achieve? Is it for electoral success? Is it to connect the Congress party to its cadre? Or is it an image makeover for Rahul Gandhi?
Good evening, Tamanna. Thank you. And I'm certainly not complaining being that you started with us a little late. Patience is a virtue I have. I understand some people.
I thought it was, just because everyone's talking, I thought it would be interesting to get the perspective of a Congress leader in Srinagar. But thank you for everyone's patience.
And a Kashmiri Pandit at that.
And a Kashmiri Pandit at that.
The only Kashmiri
Thank you
Pandit in
for your
Parliament.
patience. But yes, Tehseen, no, but the question which Tuhin has raised is important. What did you get?
Very important.
What did you get 135 days later? What happened?
I'll come to that, but just, since I love to be on your show, I also like to bust some myths on the show. For your viewers, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru raising the tricolor at Lal Chowk. The next image that I'm going to show you is Rajiv ji and Farooq Abdullah ji at the Lal Chowk. And the tricolor in the background is clearly seen. Tuhin said Prime Minister Modi, then a BJP Karyakarta at the Lal Chowk raised the tricolor. There was Advani ji who raised a tricolor, and everyone gave security. This new me, because of me you raised a tricolor. Let's go into history. Let's not be led because of me. Even Modi ji did it, and Advani ji did it, and other governments also gave security, and I've given evidence. Let's come to what Tuhin says, and Tuhin actually makes a very valid point. Ultimately, one is pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. Similarly, you have to win an election or you don't win an election. You can't half win an election. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and I completely get that. What the Congress was going through, and I've been in touch with Yashwant, I've been seeing Yashwant's numbers, the trackers that follow the Congress and Rahul Gandhi since 2019 had lost some amount of momentum. What Bharat Jodo has done, and these are factual data-based numbers that have come out, have brought Rahul Gandhi and the Congress back into the people's consciousness. Now, to win an election, you first need certain amount of voters. They seem to be slipping. Bharat Jodo has done that. Internally for the Congress also, the Congress cadre is rejuvenated. But Bharat Jodo was not by itself an end goal for electoral success. With electoral politics now, they're doing a Haath se Haath Jodo, where the Congress is going to give the Bharatiya Janata an alternate vision to the people of India as to why they are different
you're not
from
going
the
to like
BJP
this
and why they should
example,
be coming.
but it's kind of like, what was the purpose of demonetization? The goal changed every few months depending on who you asked. And because there were so many goals, it was easier to say that all were successful or all failed. And it's similar.
The goal,
was this electoral politics? Was it image makeover? What is it? It can't be everything all at once.
It cannot. And you're right on that. And it isn't that the goals changed. I've been on your show earlier. The goal was to rejuvenate the Congress. The goal was to have the organization, the oil in the organization wheels, so they start rotating. That was the goal. The goal was also, along with that, to put a message of unity in the country. You can agree or disagree. That was the goal, and a clear ideological position against the BJP. Now, that has been achieved. The next goal is electoral success, which is Haath se Haath Jodo.
Yashwant Deshmukh, let me go to the numbers guy. Yashwant, at the end of the day, we want it to be quantified. You'll have to quantify it at the end of the day. Any sort of marketing exercise any corporation takes on, and I'm giving it a sort of a corporate parallel, or any organization takes on, you will have to quantify a return on investment effectively. For a political party, it happens to be whether you win elections or not, whether perception changes, whether mood changes. Since you're the numbers person, what have you seen so far?
Well, Tamanna, the analogy that you have taken, probably just taking a leaf from that, a product's market share and the probability of taking up a bigger market share can be discussed only if the product is on the shelf. You see, please try to understand the larger context. What has happened in the last 4 years that the product went off the shelf. And that is where this yatra was important, to bring the product back on the shelf. What has been the opposition narrative, Tamanna, in the last 4 years? Till 2014 was when Congress was the incumbent and fighting to remain in power. In 2019, prior to that, just before the Lok Sabha elections, the Congress has won the Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh battle. And there was no question of any argument or any confusion on the fact that Congress was the main challenger to the BJP. But what happened right after 2019 debacle was, in the last 4 years, we kind of looked at the coverage and the proportion that everybody ranging from Arvind Kejriwal to Mamata Banerjee to KCR, everyone was talking to become a national alternative of the BJP. Why did that happen? It simply happened because the product of Congress was off the shelf. The product of Rahul Gandhi was off the shelf. So in a vacant shelf, everybody was trying to get into that position.
You think that has reversed?
I guess
that has reversed?
As long as Manna, we will keep on looking at this yatra as if this yatra is aimed at challenging the BJP in 2024, we would be not in a position to look at it to the right context and perspective. This yatra was primarily aimed at putting the Congress back on track, saying that they are the principal opposition to the BJP. This was not a yatra to, and I don't think, I mean, anybody who is looking into the electoral context of the yatra would say that this will, as on today or maybe a year down the lane, result in Congress becoming the single largest party and BJP losing the election. I mean, it's not looking, practically speaking, it's not looking like. But what has achieved is that probably it will make sure that Congress remains as the principal challenger to the BJP, and the clear and present danger of Congress ceding that ground to the further regional Kshatraps and even the emerging ones like Arvind Kejriwal as the principal opposition seen by the public and the people to the BJP. That thing, I think that hemorrhage has been stopped, if I may say so.
Okay.
So the Congress is probably out of the ICU, if I may say so, but it's still in the ward. I mean, you have to see that context. Anybody
out of the ICU but into the ward. That's an interesting way of putting it. Out of the ICU into the ward. Neerja Chaudhary, do you look at this as a comeback for Rahul Gandhi for the upteenth time, as Tuhin Sinha put it? Or the Congress making a real effort to put up some sort of a fight to the BJP?
I think, as you have said and others have said, it has led to the rebranding of Rahul Gandhi's image, what we call de-Papuization, which people at the ground level are talking about. He's coming across as more serious, well-meaning, wanting to do something. And as a result of the response that he's got, ordinary people have been wowed. What, person after person talked about was that a politician has come to us walking after a long time. And I think that fact, the physical walking by him to go into areas is what was noticed by people. This response has brought the Congress party back on the radar. Again, a point mentioned by several others. And I think more than that, to say whether the goodwill that he's got, and remember, if I have gone to his yatra, or not gone to his yatra, or read about it or seen it, and there is a sentiment, yeah, he's doing good work, even though that doesn't mean that I will not vote for Modi or I will vote for him. It may or may not mean. But that goodwill will remain somewhere in the mind, tucked away, to be encashed at an appropriate moment when this government starts to lose ground and resentment starts to build. I think as of now, rightly so, Narendra Modi is ahead. There is, people are not angry with him or the government. And I think, therefore, Rahul's goodwill, how does the Congress party translate into votes? To say that this yatra was not political is, for a party, I don't understand that at all. It's incomprehensible. Right. There is a politician who went on a yatra. He belongs to grand old party of India. If you're not going to win elections, you're not going to come back to power. If you don't come back to power, how will you deliver your promises to the people? Then it makes no sense. So the real challenge for the Congress is start to win elections and revive the organization. How they are going to do that game plan, that strategy has yet not unfolded. And I would have expected Rahul Gandhi now to concentrate on the elections that are due this year. How to win Karnataka? There is an undercurrent for the Congress there. How do you not allow that opportunity to slip out of your hands? There is factionalism. So also in the other states that are going to the polls. And I think Rahul should encash his goodwill by crisscrossing these states where polls are due in the next weeks and months.
Right, so more of the same, says Neerja Chaudhary, de-Papuization. That's an interesting term. I'm just going to get Tuhin to respond to that before I come to you, Tehseen. Give me a second. Yes, Tuhin. De-Papuization out of the ICU and into the ward. I mean, these are incremental improvements. You will have to admit.
Well, like I said, I mean, if you are very happy with these improvements, that only helps us in the long run. But look at it today, more than 20 regional parties were invited for the culmination of Bharat Jodo Yatra. How many eventually turned up? 3 or 4? That shows that this yatra was all about cementing the family leadership within, and probably, the dynastic leadership within the Congress, getting an extension for the next generation. So the G23s might subside for the time being, but instead, like Neerja ji herself pointed out, had he focused on the election-bound states, or the states where BJP is strong right now, Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat, he very carefully escaped those states. Had he gone to Ayodhya and taken a stand on the Ram Mandir, that is when people would have appreciated. Probably, this yatra was a self-discipline test of which Rahul Gandhi undertook to make sure, he can basically be involved with 24/7 politics for 4 months, 4.5 months without being distracted. So that way, yes, he has succeeded. But in terms of strategy, in terms of understanding of issues, I think the Congress has a very long way to go. 2032 might be 2034 might be, when, he finally matures into giving the BJP a good fight. And Tehseen apparently just showed a picture of Rajiv Gandhi and Farooq Abdullah together. Let me just remind him that it was that collaboration in the 80s, which rigged the 86, 87 elections. And that was the inflection point where people like Yasin Malik suddenly, overnight became armed terrorists. So I think let us not remind the India of that period, 86, 87, because post that, raising the flag at Lal Chowk was a dangerous proposition. And if somebody had done it, it were only the BJP leaders. And even in 2013, when Arun Jaitley ji and Sushma Swaraj ji tried to host the flag over there, the UPA government did not allow it. They could not provide the kind of security which we provided to the Congress today.
Tehseen, your response to that? Your response to that, and also the point, 1 minute, let me just add on, also the point about opposition leaders. We did the count, Tuhin, 9 out of 21 turned up, but the major ones didn't. Those who would be considered, large opposition leaders who have been successful electorally in their own states, the TMCs of the world, did not show up. And that's important, Tehseen. Was this really Bharat Jodo, including other opposition parties, and did it fail on that premise? Yes.
I'll answer that, but for the first time, I'm stunned on national TV. The BJP official spokesperson says that the election commission was manipulated and elections are rigged. India's stand has always been elections in Kashmir have been free and fair. If the BJP changes stand on a national TV, I am stunned. Is the BJP spokesperson saying that the Union of India manipulates elections in states, and the election commission, which is a free independent body, which we tell the United Nations, is a bystander? Is that the stand of the BJP? I'm stunned. So much for nationalism that the BJP speaks about, because no BJP prime minister has also ever taken that stand officially anywhere. So BJP, good luck. They can say whatever they want on TV. I don't agree. Election commission can be sold out. But let me come to the larger issues that we are raising. Look, Tamanna, I said in the beginning of this that this does not mean 2024 is dusted. Let me go a step further. I've discussed this with Yashwant. In 2017, Congress came very close to winning Gujarat. 2018, it won Karnataka. It formed a government in Karnataka, kept the BJP out, won Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh. Yet the Congress did not win in 2019. So the fact is, what happens in state elections, which Congress rightfully should concentrate on, does not mean you would still win 2024. For 2024, the Congress will have to be an absolute alternative to what the BJP is brought in. This is the beginning. These are baby steps. But I know that the Congress is working on trying to bring that in, and they will do that successfully. What this yatra has done is, earlier when you talk to people on the ground, they would say there is Tina, there is no alternative. Now people are saying Sita exists. Someone is there always. Where the Congress needs to go is to Rita.
Can I just ask you a counter to that?
So
can I
from Tina to Rita is what the
you're making it sound like the Congress party did not exist before this yatra took place. It is still the largest national party after the BJP.
It is.
It's not like a new discovery has been made. Rahul Gandhi was never known to people.
You're right.
So you're going from Tina to Sita is I mean, are you overestimating it?
No, no. Tina to Rita via Sita.
Losing
I'm
track.
not overestimating it. I'm not overestimating it because Yashwant's data, which I have seen, said that the Congress was fast losing relevance and there were challenges to the Congress, despite Congress being the single largest party and in 160 seats, fighting, being the sole challenger to the BJP. 180 actually, but 160. This is verifiable data. From 2019, at the peak of the Congress, so 2018, to 2021, 2022, prior to this yatra, the Congress had seen a downward trend. What this yatra has done is, and therefore people were saying there is no alternative. Tina, what this yatra has said, okay, we have an opposition. Sita, someone is there always. And I'm not saying that alternative is Rahul Gandhi, even as of today. I'm not stupid to say that. But from Sita to Rita is the next transformation of Congress. That's where the Congress will have to go.
Okay, so Sita, Rita, we're only missing Geeta. But on a lighter note,
Listen, the BJP will get offended with you.
Tehseen has me a little confounded. But again, Yashwant, since he's talking about your data and you talked about the, the alternative to the BJP and that space which was being filled up by other regional parties, that doesn't seem to have changed. The major regional parties did ditch this culmination of Bharat Jodo Yatra. The Congress is pretty much on its own.
That's pretty much true. I mean, that's and that is, I think the Congress also realizes that, because all the regional parties which have a national ambition, they simply skip the Srinagar event, you see. Because they have their, and it's politics. Let's try to understand that in politics, everybody has a right to play his or her own game and
Right.
aim. That's fine. But what Tahseen is saying is I agree with him to a large extent, because you see what had happened between 2019 and 2022 is that Rahul Gandhi as a prime ministerial possibility or the choice from the 20s dropped down in August 2022 to a single figure mark, that is like 9% in our MOTN for India today. And Arvind Kejriwal was just 2 points behind him at 7%. I mean, the things were going in a direction that if Rahul Gandhi would have remained aloof for a few more months, probably at the national vacuum stage, Arvind Kejriwal's number might have gone beyond him. And that would have been complete disaster. That's why I started saying that, you can look into the product branding and product positioning as long as there is a product on the shelf. What has happened in the 4 years after 2019 debacle, Rahul Gandhi resigned and he has kept himself and the Congress as a product off the shelf. And this is something like assertion from the Congress. We are very much viable. We are very much in the game. We are very much running for the game. And that is critical for them.
Right.
That's important for them. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult if the things would have gone beyond a point to repair and to come back. And to be honest, even on a lighter note, but Nirjaji would agree with me, Congress revival, during the Gujarat election, I realized was equally critical for the BJP as well. Because in the last 15 days of the Gujarat campaign, BJP was literally campaigning for the Congress. The Home Minister in Gujarat said that on many interviews, he said, our main competition is Congress, not the Aam Aadmi Party. Congress has never polled below 40% in Gujarat. There was a situation when Aam Aadmi Party had started trending almost about 26-27% in Gujarat. And if it would have gone beyond that, even the BJP knew that 5 years down the lane, Aam Aadmi Party would have been a problem.
So that's an interesting take. The status quo works for the BJP as well.
So this yatra doing well for the Congress is not just a good news for Congress, but I think even the BJP spokesperson knows that they needed this yatra to do well.
Tuhin is feeling happy to hear that. He wants the yatra to do well. Yes, Tuhin, you want them back in the reckoning? It's a opponent you're used to dealing with.
Either way, in politics, we need lighter moments, and Rahul Gandhi provides them a plenty. But let me just make an important point. My friend Tehseen tried to twist my words. I never said the election commission rigged elections. I solely said Rajiv Gandhi and Farooq Abdullah together. And we have always maintained the left parties in Bengal and Lalu Prasad Yadav in Bihar used to rig elections. They would not have ruled for 15 and 30 years respectively had they not been in a position to rig elections. But yes, I mean, today things have changed and nobody can rig elections today.
Yep. Okay.
Can I quickly respond? Just 10 seconds.
Okay. Okay, Tehseen. Quickly.
No, I repeat, no prime minister, no government has said in the state of now Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has India ever rigged elections. Our stand in the United Nations has always been in Jammu and Kashmir, India has free and fair elections. To see a BJP spokesperson say this about
I think we're splitting hairs here. We're splitting hairs here. I know it's giving you an opportunity to score a point, but let's come back. Let's come back to the syllabus and what we're talking about.
This will be used by Pakistan.
1 minute. Neetaji, I want to come to a point, a question.
Let me remind him. Tamanna, I need to rebut that.
You guys are hijacking my discussion. Tuhin, after complaining about starting late, you hijacked the whole discussion.
Let me give a real example why Rahul Gandhi's show in Kashmir will never be taken seriously. On 5th August 2019, we abrogated the Article 370. On 24th August 2019, after a CWC meeting, he comes out and peddles the falsehood that there is bloodshed in Kashmir, which was an absolute lie that was used by Pakistan to browbeat us internationally. So let the Pakistan give us sermons and lectures on Kashmir.
One sec. This yatra was beyond Kashmir. It is a national plan of the Congress party. And I want to ask Neetaji a question that I had put to Vivek Tankha. What is the role of Rahul Gandhi now? Because he stepped down. He said he doesn't want to be president of the party. No one from his family will. Mallikarjun Kharge now is in charge. A rejuvenated Rahul Gandhi with a sort of fresh boost in public perception. What role does he play now? When I asked this to Mr. Tankha, he talked about FACE, LK Advani, AB Vajpayee. Do you see any parallels there?
Well, yes, it's perfectly possible to have the FACE somebody else and the party president somebody else. But here you see the problem was, ever since he stepped down as party president in 2019, and this was the grievance of many and led to the formation of G23 of dissenters within the party who were unhappy with his lack of access. So Rahul Gandhi behind the scenes was taking all the decisions without accepting accountability. Now a legitimized and a strengthened Rahul Gandhi will do that much more. So does Mr. Kharge get a free hand or not? Of course, they have to move in tandem. You know, you cannot be solo. But the charge against Rahul Gandhi used to be that he would act solo. Now, has he changed? Will things be different? We don't know. There's another problem that the opposition unity is going to run into. Again, a strengthened Rahul Gandhi will be pitted by his party as, of course, the unchallenged leader as well as the prime ministerial face, and they will want, in all likelihood, for Rahul to be accepted as the leader of the whole opposition. Now, many in the opposition regional parties will not accept that. And I'm not surprised that several of the parties did not show up in Srinagar today. Unless, and this is a caveat, unless Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party says to the regional parties that if you choose somebody else, we will support this time. If that happens, the game will change.
I don't know.
And of course, they have to knuckle down to
you know, at no
other
point
things
though,
like one-on-one contests in the Lok Sabha constituencies.
At no point though did the Congress ever say that there was any alternative but for Rahul to be their prime ministerial candidate. They've never moved away from that position, have they? Yes, Yashwant, you want to quickly respond?
No.
I totally agree with Nirja, and I've been saying for quite a long time that, you know, who becomes the Congress president, this is least of the problem that opposition is facing. You know, the issue has been for some time of who is heading the UPA. I think the Congress president, the candidacy for the Congress president was not the real question. what Neeraj is saying is bang on, that the many of the opposition parties, and rightfully there, who have successfully challenged the BJP in many of these states, and they probably are asserting that if Congress, if at all, can cede that space, that okay, if somebody else can lead the opposition challenge, then probably they might like to come on board. And it is almost akin to the anti-Congress politics of 67, 77, and 89, where, please remember, the biggest block of that entire anti-Congress group used to be the Bharatiya Janata Sangh and the BJP, but they always ceded that space to lead that alliance to a Janata Dal candidate or Janata Parivar candidate.
Will the Congress be willing to do that is the big question. I have to wrap up. I have overshot on this show, but it's been a very interesting conversation. So I want to thank all of you for staying with us. And this analysis we've done. We'll take a very short break, but it is the season of comebacks. Rahul Gandhi is attempting one. The next person whose story we're going to play has absolutely proved himself to be the comeback king. Shah Rukh Khan spoke out for the first time in several months after the astounding success of Pathan. We're coming back with exactly what he said.